Hello dear Aquarians, and welcome to your annual 2021 horoscope. 2020 was a crazy year full of challenging planetary alignments. However, 2021 starts with fresh and much lighter energy, and for Aquarians, this is a very, very special year, and the years to come will be so full of changes. So for all Aquarians, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, the next few years will be full of changes, because now we've got Saturn and Jupiter moving to Aquarius, but in a couple of years, 2023, 2024, Pluto will move here as well. And Pluto is a slow-moving planet and brings transformation, death, and rebirth. So Aquarians, this is your decade, so to speak. So lots of great changes and exciting changes, especially since many planets were transiting your 12th house for the last few years, and it was quite dreadful for many of you. So let's break this year down for you and see what it means on a more personal level. So Saturn will be in your first house until 2023. It's a long transit, 2.5 years. And Saturn brings restrictions, limitations, but ultimately it wants to teach us a lesson. It wants us to be more responsible, more consistent. With Saturn moving in to your first house, there will definitely be some changes in your life. Something to do with your identity. You might change your look. You will definitely lose some weight, because Saturn shrinks everything that it touches. So there will be some weight loss involved in this. You might be more critical towards yourself than usual. You might dislike something about your appearance, about your look, and as a result of that, you might change something. Maybe your style, your hairstyle, your fashion, your clothes style might change. Your personality is likely to change as well. You might relocate. You might, honestly, will be so much going on with Saturn moving into your first house, because Saturn will touch a very, very sensitive point, which is the ascendant, your self, your identity. This is how you appear to others. So it's a very powerful time. And the lucky thing is that Jupiter will also come here. And Jupiter is the opposite energy to Saturn. So Jupiter brings expansion, luck, abundance, optimism. So here, even though Saturn might make you feel miserable at times and lost, confused, Jupiter will give you optimism in 2021. Jupiter might also make you gain some weight, because Jupiter expands anything it touches. So there could be some imbalance going on. So it's something to keep in mind. It's not really essential for everyone. It's, if you are health conscious, it's something, some information that I'm passing through. However, Jupiter will also give you some opportunities, some life opportunities to expand your horizons, to expand your skills. It's a very, very beneficial time for you with Jupiter being here, even though Saturn will also be here. However, Jupiter will really give you this boost of optimism, which is wonderful. And Jupiter will stay here for the majority of 2021. It will deep into your second house of income and resources between May and July. And during this time, you will have a little taste of what your 2022 will look like, because this is where Jupiter will move to in 2022. So while Jupiter moves to the second house between May and July, you might get some financial opportunities to expand your income capabilities, to improve your self-esteem, to generally to improve your financial situation. So this is between May and July. So whatever comes into your life, grab this opportunity, and because this could be something very meaningful in the long term. Next is Mars moving into Taurus, and this is a very important transit, because Mars usually stays about 6 weeks in a sign, but because Mars went retrograde in Aries in 2020, it stayed unusually long in one sign, its own ruler, and that was between the end of June and end of 2020. So during this time, many of us were quite impulsive and angry, even on a collective level. With Mars moving into your fourth house, you will have a really great boost of energy to do things at home. So many people with Mars moving through their fourth house really want to clean their house, like profoundly. Lots of energy to clean, to paint, redecorate. So the really great boost of doing something. You will be very, very active around your home, and you could be also dealing with family matters as well, and generally dealing with home projects around this time. It's a good time because you have this lots of energy to do it. Now, Mercury will go retrograde 3 times this year. It happens every year, so it's not something unusual. And this year it will go retrograde in air signs only. So the first Mercury retrograde will be in the sign of Aquarius on January the 30th, and it will last throughout February. And this will be in your first house. So Jupiter and Saturn will be also present here. So it's quite interesting thing that Mercury will go retrograde here as well, because you will have this extra opportunity to do some really deep re-evaluations of your own persona, of yourself, of your identity, of your goals. Where is it that you want to go in your life? Because you are starting a new cycle in your life. This is with Saturn, it's a 28th cycle. With Jupiter, it's a 12-year cycle. So there will be lots of changes in your life, in your personal life going on. So Mercury going retrograde here is quite positive, because it will help you to do some re-evaluation, some rethinking of your life, of your identity in some way. The second Mercury retrograde will be in the sign of Gemini on May 29th, and it will last throughout June. It will be in your 5th house. So here with Mercury retrograde in your area of romance, love, young people, children, creativity, some ex-relationship could come back into your life, an ex-lover. You could be desiring more romance in your life. You will be re-evaluating the romantic side of your life, whether there is enough romance, whether there is not enough, whether something needs to change. And if you have children, you will be dealing lots with your children. There could be some misunderstandings, and eventually this could prompt you to maybe re-evaluate some behavioral patterns in your children or something like this. Now, the last Mercury retrograde will be in the sign of Libra on the 27th of September, and it will last throughout October, and this will be in your 9th house. So here, the 9th house is connected to faraway travel, life, philosophy, religion, higher education, and here you could be questioning your beliefs, your belief system could go under some re-evaluation around this time. A friend from a foreign country, from a foreign land, could come back into your past. If you are planning to do some faraway traveling around this time, make sure you booked everything in advance, any coaches, any buses, and make sure you also check your flights, because Mercury retrograde can trigger something connected to a faraway travel around this time. Now, you could also get an urge to do some learning, some studying, going back to studying as well, with Mercury going retrograde here in the 9th house. Eclipses, we've got 4 eclipses this year. We've got 2 lunar eclipses and 2 solar eclipses, so it's quite normal. It happens every year. In 2020, we had 6 eclipses, so it was quite intense. Now in 2021, we've got 4. So the first lunar eclipse will be in the sign of Sagittarius on May 26th in your 11th house. A lunar eclipse is a time of endings. It's a very intense full moon. So you could be ending something connected to your friendships. Maybe a friend could be moving away. If you belong to any group, you could be leaving this group, or something could just come to an end connected to this group. You could be also ending some goals, some aspirations that you had for yourself. Now, also, because we had a solar eclipse in this area of your life back in December, on December 14th, 2020. So whatever you started around December 2020, you could be seeing some results, some outcomes of those projects that you began around that time. The second lunar eclipse will be in the sign of Taurus on November 19th in your 4th house. This will be a new series of eclipses that will reoccur between 2021 and 2023. And this lunar eclipse in your 4th house, this could be some endings connected to your home life, to your domestic life. You could be ending some projects, completing some projects connected to your home life, or this could be something to do with your family members, with your relatives. Now, we've got 2 solar eclipses, as I mentioned before, and the first solar eclipse will be in the sign of Gemini on June the 10th in your 5th house. So this could be something to do with your children, young people, or alternatively, you could be starting some new projects, some creative projects, or some artistic projects around this time, or this could be some new love relationship in your life, some new romance, because a solar eclipse is a very powerful new moon, something, some new beginnings, a fresh start in your life. So some new love, some romance, or maybe if you are already in a relationship, your relationship could go to the next level. Now, the second solar eclipse will be in the sign of Sagittarius, and this will be on December the 4th in your 11th house. So as you can see, we had quite a lot of activity going on in your 11th house in May during a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. So perhaps something came to an end around that time connected to your 11th house matters. So friendships, groups you belong to, hopes and wishes. And with that, you made space for fresh energies to come into your life in December during a solar eclipse in Sagittarius as well. And this could be some new friendships coming into your life around this time. You could be joining a new group, to meet like-minded people, people who share similar interests. This could be some new goals that you set for yourself, so maybe some aspirations that you were dreaming of, and these dreams could come to reality now. Venus retrograde, we've got a Venus retrograde at the very end of the year this year, so it's really great because we won't have to deal with Venus retrograde throughout the year, only at the end of the year in the sign of Capricorn on December 19th until January the 1st, and this Venus retrograde will be in your 12th house. So Venus is connected to relationships, marriage, love, also finances, and in your 12th house going retrograde, you could be dealing with something connected to spirituality, something connected to inner work. You might want to reconnect with your subconscious mind. Your dreams could be very vivid around this time. You could also reconnect with nature as well. And as with every Venus retrograde, there could be some misunderstandings happening in your relationships with in your love life as well. So it's something to keep in mind at this time. And with this in mind, I would like to thank you very much for your attention. I wish you a wonderful 2021. I hope it will be a great year. I'm sure it will be better than 2020. And I hope it will be a time of new beginnings, of positive new beginnings for you on a personal level. Thank you again and happy 2021. Bye for now.